Thank you for joining us today. We mark a major milestone in the history of Miami University by dedicating the Campus Avenue building in honor of Nellie Craig Walker. Nellie Craig Walker graduated in 1905, the first Black person to earn a degree from the university. We welcome her family and friends who join us today. Nellie Craig Walker earned her 2-year teaching certificate from the Ohio State Normal College, now our College of Education, Health, and Society. She was the first Black student teacher in the Oxford public school system. After she graduated, she taught at an elementary school in Indiana. She married James Walker in 1911 and lived in Cleveland. The Cab building was the home of the Normal College's McGuffey Laboratory School from 1910 until 1983. It will now be known as Nellie Craig Walker Hall. With this change, we celebrate the trailblazing path that Nellie Craig Walker established. She was the first to set us on our current path of striving to make Miami a more inclusive, diverse, inviting, and welcoming place for everyone. Nellie Craig Walker's legacy inspires us all to our code and values. Human communities give public honor to those who best represent our character and aspirations. They show us how to live our ideals in ways that make the world a better and more inclusive place. Symbols matter. When Nellie Craig Walker takes her rightful place among those we honor on buildings across our campuses, our vision of a just, inclusive, and welcoming One Miami grows clearer. The President's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Task Force, appointed last year, recognized this fact when they made the suggestion of honoring Nellie Craig Walker by naming a building after her. It was among the first of more than 40 recommendations that we are implementing. On behalf of Miami University, I dedicate Nellie Craig Walker Hall on the campus of Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. May generations of Miamians be inspired by Nellie Craig Walker's example and recognize their own power to elevate the well-being of individuals and society in our community and around the world. Love and honor.
(1881), a mere 16 years after the first slave was freed in the United States, a time where optimism of emancipation had melted into a cautious question: what now? It was until this unstable time period where my great-great-grandmother, Nellie Craig, was born.
Nellie Craig's exact birthday is unknown, a common occurrence for African Americans of the time. Her father was Jesse Craig, a private who fought in the American Civil War for 11 months. Her mother was Susan Ross Craig, a freed slave from Kentucky.
Nellie began her life in Oxford, Ohio as her parents' second daughter. Though neither of her parents could read or write, Nellie excelled in what little education was available to African American children.
In 1899, Nellie decided that she would be the one to break down racial barriers in higher education.
So as the only African American enrolled in Miami's University's Normal College, Nellie earned her 2-year teaching degree there. She continued on to be the first Black student educator to teach in the Oxford public school system.
Ohio, unaccepting of Black professionals in the teaching field, Nellie made use of her degree in Indiana as a teacher before returning to Cleveland to marry her husband.
Wed to James Matthew Walker on June 27, 1911, a marriage that sadly ended 16 years later with James's death.
Upon her husband's death, Nellie found herself showcasing extreme resilience. With 4 children to raise and no breadwinner, she single-handedly took over her husband's tire company to support her family.
By 1927, a Black-owned business was a rarity in any circumstance, but a company, a successful company at that, run by a Black woman, that was practically unheard of. Nellie Craig embodied the true spirit of America with her hard work and determination.
And it is this spirit that lives on through us, Nellie's descendants. Every generation of our family has gone on to become college graduates after she obtained this groundbreaking achievement.
I have attended Cleveland State University, and currently I work at the NASA Glenn Research Center in Cleveland as an IT systems engineer.
I graduated from Howard University in 1986 with a bachelor's in accounting and acquired an MBA in 1999. I now serve as the Associate Dean for the School of Law at Case Western Reserve University.
I attended Sacramento State University, earning my bachelor's degree in Spanish with a concentration in education. I'm currently serving, protecting, and mentoring the city youth as a school resource officer.
I received my bachelor's in mass communication and a minor in marketing at the Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana in 2019. I am currently finishing my last semester at Kent State University to earn my Bachelor's of Science in Public Health.
I currently attend Hampton University as a graphic design major.
As Nellie's family, we couldn't be more proud and ecstatic about this building being named in her honor. As African Americans, we strive to carry on the legacy of our ancestors who fought so hard for the opportunities afforded for us today.
I would like to thank every person who fought to give Nellie the recognition she deserves at the institution where she broke the color barrier.
It is our sincere hope that we can continue to honor and remember the enduring spirit of Nellie Craig, even 140 years after her birth, and carry on invigorating generations to come.
We would like to take the time to thank Miami University for seizing this opportunity to recognize a distinguished Black woman, our great-great-grandmother, in recognition of her achievements.
Hello, I'm Dr. Denise Taylor-Farrell-Bazile, Interim Dean of the College of Education, Health, and Society. On behalf of the college, I just want to say we are so proud and so pleased to celebrate the dedication of the Nellie Craig Walker Hall today. More than 115 years ago, I imagine that one fine morning, Nellie Craig woke up with great pride and some anxiety and put on her best dress, laced up her boots, pinned up her hair, and walked resolutely onto campus and eventually across the stage and into history as the first African American student to graduate from the Ohio State Normal School at Miami University. Her story is truly inspiring because it wasn't just a walk. It was a phenomenal walk against the winds of a socially and legally sanctioned racism that was explicit, virulent, and persistent throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries. Although slavery was prohibited by the Ohio Constitution, published in 1803, the freedom of African American people was severely inhibited by restrictive covenants called Black laws. These laws limited their mobility, denied them legal rights, social freedoms, education, and made them quite vulnerable to acts of terror and violence perpetrated by those who refused to acknowledge their humanity. Despite these formidable challenges, African Americans and allies persisted in fighting for their rights and building their own institutions. Education was among the most important battlegrounds because it was an opportunity to resist the myth of intellectual inferiority and pave the way for responsible and productive freedom. Their efforts, however, were often thwarted as they were denied resources, run out of schools, and in many cases had their own schoolhouses burned to the ground. Still, not distracted or deterred, in the dawn of Reconstruction, African Americans continued their struggle in Congress and in the courts. By the early 1900s, there were some small but hard-won victories that began to alter the landscape in some northern states. In Oxford, Ohio, for instance, some Black children began attending school with white classmates as early as 1887. And in the earliest years of the new century, Miami University also began admitting African American students. This is the social and political context that makes Nellie Craig Walker's story and her accomplishments as the first African American student to graduate from Miami University and one of the first African American teachers to teach in a mixed-race school a notable story at the very least and an inspiring one at the very best. What we hope is that Nellie Craig Walker's story is shared with every student that graces Miami University, but especially with those who must confront obstacles big and small, individual and systemic. What we most want you to know is that when you think you won't make it, or you can't do it, or someone else doubts your ability, skill, and fortitude, remember Nellie Craig Walker. Hold your head up high, be your best self, and walk undeterred against those stubborn winds and into history in your own right. This is the promise of Nellie Craig Walker's legacy for all the students coming along the trail she blazed so long ago.
What an honor to have the opportunity to speak about the legacy of Nellie Craig Walker, Miami's first Black graduate. As a student in the College of Education, Health, and Society, I'm humbled to have the opportunity to join in the celebration and recognizing her legacy. Mrs. Nellie Craig Walker received an education at a time when racial barriers and prejudice prevented people of color from sometimes achieving their dreams of receiving a college education. Miami's Code of Love and Honor is a pledge that was created to signify that each member of our community has contributed to who we are and who we aspire to be, individually, collectively, as Miamians. I stand on the shoulders of a woman whose determination and personal strength have shown us all how education can help us leave legacies for others to follow. When I receive my college degree, I will, like Nellie Craig Walker, have reached my goal of receiving my college education. I'm sure today, if she were with us, Mrs. Nellie Craig Walker would join me in saying, "I am Miami."
Hello, I'm Carolyn Jones Craig, the Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging for the College of Arts and Science at Miami University. As a Miami Black alum, and on behalf of Miami's Association of Black Faculty and Staff, AFFAS, we are humbled to take part in honoring the memory of this remarkable woman of courage and distinction, Miss Nellie Craig Walker. Nellie Craig was one of 4 children born to Jesse Craig and Sarah Ross Craig of Oxford, Ohio, where she attended and graduated from Oxford Public School. Despite racial and societal barriers, Nellie Craig made history as the first full-time African-American student to enroll in Miami's Ohio State Normal College, later named the School of Education and Allied Professions, and now the College of Education, Health, and Society. Nellie made history again when she became the first Black educator to student teach in a mixed-race classroom of the Oxford Public Schools. On June 12, 1905, the commencement exercises of the Ohio State Normal College of Miami University took place in a large tent filled with visitors, students, and teachers. Honorable E.A. Jones, State Commission of Common Schools, delivered the address, and the music was under the direction of Dr. S.S. Myers. The ceremony was interrupted by a hard rain, but eventually continued. And amongst the 17 graduates that day was Miss Nellie Craig, who made history as the first African American to earn a 2-year certificate from the Ohio State Normal College of Miami University. A resident of Oxford, Nellie Craig taught elementary school in Oxford and in Union County, Indiana, until she married James M. Walker and eventually moved to Cleveland, where she became a leading member of the city's Black Women's Club. Nellie Craig Walker's bravery, tenacity, and accomplishments opened the door and provided opportunities that may not have been available to many students like me. Even in the midst of segregation and some of the most challenging times in America, Nellie Craig Walker managed to break the color barrier and obtain her 2-year degree. Her legacy, an inspiring story of many firsts, continues to motivate many of us to be lifelong learners and to pursue and accomplish that some deem the impossible. Her strength and diligence are catalysts for future generations to come and a constant reminder that no matter the obstacle, we can succeed. Constructed in 1969, the former Campus Avenue building was originally home to elementary students for the McGuffey Laboratory School, part of Miami School of Education, until the laboratory school closed in 1983. It is appropriate that the building now bearing Nellie Craig Walker's name has a direct historic link to the college from which she graduated. Miami honors Nellie Craig Walker, whose enduring spirit and determination to complete her professional education and pursue a meaningful career exemplifies values that represent Miami University today.
Hi, my name is Gwen Davis White, and I was Black Alumni President in 2013 when a student, Samantha Callender, came to me and asked if we, the Black alumni, would be interested in naming a room after the first Black graduate, Nellie Craig. At that time, Armstrong Center was being constructed, and we decided to take on the challenge. In order to do naming rights for the room, you had to raise $25,000, and we did that in 2 short years. The Nellie Craig Room originally held the Black Student Association and also the Miami University Gospel Choir. As we move into 2021, Nellie Craig's legacy will continue through the dedication of the Campus Avenue building in the name of Nellie Craig Walker.
Hi everybody, my name is Vika Bell Robinson and I serve as the Director of Residence Life here at Miami. I am so honored to have the opportunity to talk about the dedication of the formerly named Campus Avenue building to the newly named Nellie Craig Walker building. I was a part of the DEI task force this summer that promoted this idea that we needed to have a building on our campus named for a person of color, and who better than to name the building after Nellie Craig Walker. As a historically and predominantly white institution, Miami University can be a challenging place to find your space if you are from an underrepresented identity. As you walk the halls, and you walk into the buildings, and you look at the names of those buildings, and you look at the plaques on the walls and the pictures in the areas, you don't always see, as a person of color, somebody who looks like you, somebody who is a part of the history of the institution, and that can make it pretty difficult to feel like there's space for you as well. So I am beyond thrilled that the Board of Trustees agreed with the recommendation of the DEI task force this summer to name the Campus Avenue building after Nellie Craig Walker. Students will always know now the history associated with the beginning of an opportunity for students of all types to come and learn and grow at Miami. So congratulations to the Walker family, and thank you very much to Nellie Craig Walker for paving the way.
Greetings. My name is Anthony James, and I am the Interim Vice President of Institutional Diversity and Inclusion. Before closing today's ceremony, I hope that you would give me the grace to share a few thoughts about Nellie Craig Walker. As I reflected on what to say today, I could only imagine what challenges she must have faced during her time in pursuit of her teaching certificate. But what I can confirm is that she persisted and she overcame those challenges, having received her certificate in 1905. Further, I can only imagine the anxiety she must have felt being the first Black educator to teach in a mixed-race school system upon receiving her certificate. Even more so when considering that this occurred less than 15 years after a Black person was lynched in the same city not too far from where she studied. What I can confirm is that she had the courage, audacity, and resiliency to blaze that trail. To that, I extend to her my full admiration and respect. Nellie Craig Walker left a legacy that deserves the accolade of having her name posted on the outside of a Miami University structure. She took advantage of an opportunity put before her and no doubt inspired countless children and community members to lean into challenges and to prevail. That's a legacy that deserves honor and recognition. In fairness, Miami University's Normal College, now the College of Education, Health, and Society, also deserves credit. I have no doubt that the institution took its fair share of criticism for allowing this student to increase her human capital because she had characteristics that were not valued equally across society. But in spite of that, they bestowed upon her elements of human capital that has historically allowed people to take more control of their destinies for the better. Those elements are, but not limited to, knowledge and skills. As Interim Vice President of Institutional Diversity and Inclusion, I hope that I do all I can to continue to nudge, push, encourage, open doors, and to allow people an equitable chance at building their human capital, even in the face of criticism and dissent. This is especially true for marginalized individuals who continually face barriers to accessing such opportunities. That, my friends, is the code of love and honor. Let's together, and inspired by the story of Nellie Craig Walker, lean into that part of our institutional history. Sharpen it, build on it, strengthen it. Each of us take full advantage of our opportunity to be positive and contributing members of that history each day. The stories you heard today are meant to inspire and celebrate. We are so thankful for each of you who have taken time out of your busy lives to observe this ceremony. We especially thank the descendants of Nellie Craig Walker for taking the time to help us share the story of their ancestor and allow us to memorialize her as a beacon of light for future generations, just as she was for those who have come before us. Again, I say thank you.